call the September 8th meeting of the City of Lincoln Park Mayor and Council meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, in which will be immediately followed by a moment of silence as we remember those that have passed in the past couple weeks in our community, and in particularly Joe Clemente. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, was I, apparently, that didn't come across the first time?
Didn't hear anything, Mayor.
All right, well then, forget that, we'll try it again. We will call the September 9th meeting of the Lincoln Park City Council to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be immediately followed by a moment of silence in memory of those that have passed in the city for the last couple of weeks, and in particular, Mr. Joe Clemente, Jr. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
One
one
nation
nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all. Thank you. And as our prayers and our intentions for tonight, would want you also to keep in mind John Stearns and his family. John is undergoing a battle with cancer right now. So if you, I'm sure that there is power in prayer. So if you would keep him in your prayers, it would be appreciated. If I could have roll call, please.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Present on the phone.
Higgins,
Here.
Kelsey,
Here.
Parkinson, Ross, here, Salcido,
Here.
and Mayor Carnes.
Here. Okay, well, welcome, everyone. As said for the intentions, Joseph Clemente died a short while ago. Or someone that is iconic in the city of Lincoln Park, it's the Clemente family, and in particular Joe, with the restaurant and the bowling alley and all the good deeds that he has done throughout the years in Lincoln Park. Was a very quiet, unassuming man, but did a great deal. I had an opportunity when I was chief of police. I would stop in there for a quick bite, and then had an opportunity to listen to his time that he spent during World War II and some of the things afterwards. And it was just truly an amazing life. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I mentioned John Stearns, who is a member of the officer in the Lincoln Park Police Department, the SWAT officer also. John is probably the best officer that I've ever met. I mean, all around, very good natured, does the job and does a fantastic job for us. And as I said, that he is battling cancer right now. The police department has a couple different fundraisers going for him. One of those is the the Turkey Strong bracelets that they're selling for him, and they have T-shirts also. And you can stop by the police department. I'm sure that they will show you which way. And it's Turkey Strong because Turkey is John's nickname, as it is, for whatever reason. We won't go into that. The governor in this past week has extended the state of emergency to, I think, October 4th or October 5th. That means that we'll be continuing via Zoom for the next couple of meetings anyway. There are some things that are opening up, though, as a result of this. I understand that at 11:59 tonight, that the gyms will be able to open up, bowling alleys for team sports, and even the community center will be looking at that also for team sports are going to be allowed to be opening up. So things are loosening, but it still is something that is ongoing. We have from the latest from the Wayne County Public Health is that Lincoln Park is at 555 cases, with no cases the last couple of days, and thankfully our death toll has remained at 31. On tomorrow, So Wednesday, September 9th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Central Maintenance Yard, which is at 29900 Goddard, Romulus, Michigan, there will be a job fair that the Wayne County Department of Public Services will be putting on. And the job opportunities include public service maintenance workers, equipment repair specialists, project supervisors, electricians, engineers, and all job descriptions and requirements can be found on waynecounty.com. Masks are required. Applicants must adhere to social distancing mandates. So if this flyer will be should be on the city's social media and website. So if you are looking for work, this is a good opportunity for you. Okay. In the past couple weeks, the police department has been busy, not only with their ordinary jobs out there protecting and serving us all, but they did a backpack giveaway in preparation for school. This was at the community center the previous Sunday. I think there were almost 300 backpacks that were given away in a short period of time. They did a great job for us. I think the Rotary Club of Lincoln Park had sponsored and purchased some of the bags for them, or a good portion of the bags. And the Kiwanis Club was there also with a book giveaway. So not only did all the children receive a book bag, a backpack, but they had a book of their choice to put into it too. That was very nice. But this past weekend, the Chief Waters hijacked a ice cream truck, and it was a licensed ice cream truck in the city, and purchased all of their wares, and then drove around the city and giving out some 300 things of ice cream to kids that were out there. So it was a very, very good thing. We have, speaking of the need for backpacks, school starts tomorrow as it is. Most of the schooling is being done online to start out the year, and the district will phase in face-to-face training as it goes through. There will be some of that at the end of September, but they're doing their best in order to get everyone equipped so that they can give the best shot at having a good education. So that is starting. It's not like when we imagined our first day of school, but it is what it is. Now this past, or a couple weeks ago, we did a search. The Downtown Development Authority and the Economic Development Corporation did a search for a new director, a combined director. And we were fortunate through this process to get a very dynamic individual. We just finished our Economic Development Corporation meeting shortly before this one, and it's Carl Milish. I might have gotten it wrong, Carl, but you're going to have to forgive me on that. Comes to us, and he has, he was in Kentucky, and I'm thinking of the ball bat place. Louisville.
Louisville?
Yeah, so Louisville, Kentucky, and then it was St. Albany across the way in Indiana. And he has loads of experience in there, has experience with farmers markets, with all kinds of the things that arrange to do with economic development and downtown development authority. So I wanted to give him an opportunity to say hello to you, you all, give a couple minutes of introduction, and when we're able to, we'll hook everybody up with a face-to-face meeting. So Carl?
Thank you. Mayor, I want to also point out the most important part of my bio. I grew up in Detroit. I'm a Michigander.
That's right.
Next
That's right.
patriot, as it were. I love the state. I love Motown. I still have a lot of family and friends that, live in the vicinity in, greater Detroit metro area. But I want to tell you all that I'm very pleased to have received this job offer. I'm looking forward to working here. I've put in a week already, and as the mayor pointed out, we had a nice Economic Development Commission meeting. One of the reasons we had the meeting was to discuss priorities and the like. I've got some excellent direction from the Economic Development Commission as well as the mayor. We'll be meeting this week with the Downtown Development Authority, and we'll be going through the same exercise with them, identifying your priorities as a community and the specific work and projects that that authority wants me to work on. Yes, I have a pretty extensive background in community development. I am a Michigan State grad. I hope nobody objects to that. I know University of Michigan is probably pretty popular in these parts as well. But I did get an undergraduate degree there in urban planning, picked up a master's degree at the University of Louisville in community development. And throughout my decades of experience, as it turns out, I've had a lot of interactions with economic development, community development, redevelopment, and so on and so forth. I am very interested and want to do my best to put a positive result on Lincoln Park, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you to see that that's accomplished. I have met three of you, well, including the mayor, four of you, since I've been here. I met with Mr. Higgins and Mr. Kelsey and Ms. Ross, and I want to thank you again, all three of you, for meeting with me. I'm looking forward to meeting with the rest of the council, perhaps as the pall of the COVID lifts off of the community and we go back to regular interactions and the like. Hopefully that'll happen. But in the meantime, if President Breeding or Mr. Salcido or Mr. Parkinson want to get in touch with me, please do so. Give me a call at City Hall or shoot me an email, and I'd be glad to discuss any of your priorities, and I'll answer any other questions you may have about me or my family and so forth. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, well, again, thank you very much for having me in your community, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. We're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
All right. So moving on then to the consent agenda. Resolved that the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and city council. 1, approved minutes, regular meeting held August 17, 2020. 2, approved minutes, study session, August 17, 2020, RE Building Department. 3, participation residential rehab program. 4, charitable solicitation, Knights of Columbus Tootsie Roll Drive. 5, set public hearing, dangerous building board properties. A, 1872 Champaign. B, 552 Emmons. C, 422 Farnham. D, 1385 Mill. And E, 26560 Outer Drive.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion?
There is no discussion on this.
Then clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross. Yes. Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Our first action item is, be it resolved that an ordinance to amend the municipal code of the city of Lincoln Park by repealing Chapter 853 and replacing it with a new Chapter 853 entitled Marijuana Licenses is given its third and final reading and be adopted by title only, said ordinance having been conspicuously posted for 72 hours. The City of Lincoln Park ordains that Part 8, Title 2 of the Codified Ordinances for the City of Lincoln Park, Chapter 853, be amended by repealing and replacing it with a new Chapter 853 entitled Marijuana Licenses.
So move.
Support. Open it up for discussion then? Okay, hearing none, then clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
I am voting no due to the additional licenses that may be granted above the number of licenses listed on the ballot proposal. So I'm voting no on that.
Councilman Higgins,
Yes.
Councilman Kelsey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ross. No. Councilman Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right. The next item we have has a cover letter from Leah Dumichel, our planner of record. And the City of Lincoln Park Planning Commission has considered and recommends approval of amendments to 2 sections of the Lincoln Park zoning code regarding lot division 1224.06B2, division of lots, and 1294.32F, schedule of area regulations. It's recently come to staff attention that there is an inconsistency between 1224.06 and 1294.32, division of lots, currently requires a resulting minimum lot width of 50 feet after parcel division, whereas the minimum lot width per 129432 schedule of area regulations is dependent on the zoning district. The minimum lot width is 40 feet for most districts, 20 feet for the MFRD, 30 feet for the CBD, and 100 feet for the LID and the GID. Furthermore, 1294.32F currently requires a minimum lot size of 5,000 square feet for single-family residential lots. This is inconsistent with the schedule of area regulations table, which requires a minimum lot size of 4,000 square feet. This 5,000 square foot minimum lot size is prohibitive for redevelopment in the city, as there are several available lots primed for residential redevelopment that would not meet this unnecessarily high minimum lot size requirement. So, resolved that an ordinance to amend the municipal code of the City of Lincoln Park by repealing Section 1224.06B2 and Section 1294.32F and replacing them with a new Section 124.06B2 entitled Division of Lots, and new section 1294.32F entitled Schedule of Area Regulations respectively be given its first and second reading. The City of Lincoln Park ordains that the Lincoln Park Municipal Code be amended by repealing and replacing section .06B2 of Chapter 1224 entitled Division of Lots and section .32F of Chapter 1294 entitled Schedule of Area Regulations as follows. 1224.06B2, Division of Lots. 2, a platted lot into not more than 2 parts as separate parcels or divided and combined with an adjacent lot, outlot, acreage or parts thereof, provided that each of the resulting parcels meet the minimum lot area requirements defined in 1294.32. Schedule of area regulations for the zoning district assigned to the parcel at the time of the request. 1294.32F, Schedule of area regulations. F, the minimum land or lot area shall be 4,000 square feet for the first dwelling unit in a multiple dwelling building, plus 2,000 square feet for each additional dwelling unit therein.
So move.
Support.
Okay, discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
I have a question, sir.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
I have where it says 4,000 square feet for the first dwelling unit. Are we talking about multiple units on a piece of property, or are we talking about a single-family home? Do you know?
Okay, we have, our planner is here. Leah, do you have, can you
Yes,
comment
so
on that?
I do. So we changed it to specifically address multiple dwelling units. The single-family unit lot sizes are covered by the schedule of area regulations and did need further clarification.
I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm sorry.
So if there's only one dwelling unit on the property, then it already is covered by the minimum lot size. But if there
Okay.
are more than one dwelling unit on the property, then we were specifying the minimum size for the first one and those thereafter.
Okay, so you're not decreasing the size of the lot for a single-family home by doing this?
Well, we were removing the inconsistency, so the lot, we haven't changed the zoning district. That regulation is what it is, but for reasons that we don't know, this other section had a larger area there.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, is there further discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Higgins,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Kelsey.
Yes.
I see Councilman Parkinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next action item is resolved that resolution number 2020-064 regarding approval of the employment agreement with the Human Resources Manager be removed from the table.
So moved.
Support.
Excuse me. Discussion? Oh, there's no discussion on this removing from table. Is that correct, the city clerk? All right, then clerk, call the roll then.
Councilpersons Reading,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So, then the next item has a cover letter from our city manager, Mr. Grzan. At the February 18th, 2020 meeting, the council had additional questions regarding the contract for the Human Resources Manager. The approval of the contract was tabled and now being brought back. The first major question that remained after the February meeting was in reference to the specific job duties of the position. For reference, the current job description is attached to this document. In summary, the position is administrative, non-department head level position that handles many different tasks associated with personnel issues. For example, some of the more significant and time-consuming duties include day-to-day personnel issues, coordination of the recruitment and selection of city employees, benefit administration for both current and retired employees. This includes coordinating both the general employee and retiree health care open enrollment, as well as retiree Medicare Advantage open enrollment. Implementation of the city's personnel policies, including the coordination of various medical leave requests and the workers' compensations claim. Administering collective bargaining agreements, including ensuring that provisions of said agreement are enforced. Of these various duties, the benefit administration is one that is extremely time-consuming. In fact, many organizations have one person specifically designated for employee benefit administration. This includes both active and retirees. Although traditional retirement health care was modified, we still have a complicated annual open enrollment and various other claims related. Many of our neighboring communities have a specific HR director. The job is assigned to assistant city manager. In either case, the position is typically compensated at a rate much higher than established for this position. Allen Park Human Resource Director salary $73,200. Southgate Assistant City Manager salary $94,200. Riverview Human Resources Director $74,720. Another issue raised during the evening was the cost of the labor attorney. City's labor attorney is not on a retainer and thus is paid on hours of service performed. Our current rate is $135 an hour. On the 2018-19 fiscal year, the city would pay approximately 277 hours of legal services to the labor attorney. Last fiscal year, we paid approximately 444 hours of legal services. Payment for labor attorneys vary on the community. The major variables are in the volume of service needed. City of Southgate has a retainer of $7,750 per month. City of River Rouge, retainer of $8,000 a month. Communities that pay hourly rate include Allen Park at $175 an hour, typically approximately $45,000 for the last 4 years, fiscal years. Riverview, $120 an hour with a typical year between $120,000 and $150,000. The position is currently only covered under resolution of the council from November 2017. This resolution established a wage scale for the position of HR manager and tied terms and conditions of employment to the Administrators Association. However, not being an actual member of the association, the position did not receive any wage increase in either 2019 or 2020. So the resolution, whereas the city must renew the employment agreement with the Human Resources Manager, and whereas the interim city manager recommends the adoption of the attached employment agreement with the Human Resource Manager, Jennifer Richardson. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the employment agreement by and between the City of Lincoln Park and the Human Resources Manager, Jennifer Richardson, and be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute said employment agreement on behalf of the City of Lincoln Park. Excuse me. We have a mover. I'm sorry, I didn't hear who supported.
I moved. Start, or one of us moved.
Oh, okay. Karen,
And
you have,
Councilwoman Ross as the mover, but I don't have a supporter yet.
I'll support. Get it on the table so we can talk.
Thank
okay.
you.
So we'll open up discussion. I think I'll have this city manager weigh in on this to start with. Mr. Krzan?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Truthfully, you nailed it when you read the cover letter I had written. The two major questions that remained after the February meeting were that of the actual duties of the position, and then also the costs associated with Labor Council, of which we're right in with many of our neighbors. And the spike in the last couple of years has been mostly attributed to the number of contracts we've had to negotiate, contested grievance arbitration. So the numbers seem pretty much in line with what you would expect for an organization of our size. This is a non-department head level, non-council appointed level position. This is really merely setting the terms of the employment for the employee. So I'm happy to answer any questions that may be asked.
Okay, or just comments that anyone,
I have some questions.
okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. I am confused. Maybe the city manager can explain to me why they're recommending a pay increase of 7.5%. This was the job was part of the GELC when they created this position and first came across an employment agreement, which I have no problem with. I have no problem with her having an employment agreement. But at that time, this position was granted additional benefits, including 6% in lieu of on their base salary in lieu of overtime, additional vacation time, comp time, and many other benefits. So to say that there was no raise given when we went from GELC to an employment agreement is really kind of misleading. The clerical unit in the TPOAM, which we settled their contracts previously, all received a 1% increase each year. The GELC, which this position was part of before, received 1% the first year, 1.25 the second year, and 1.25 the third year. I do not understand why this position would be granted a 7.5 increase when we didn't even give that to the firefighters in this last negotiation. So maybe someone can explain to me why. I realize that this job description is very well written and it does cover an awful lot of things that I did not realize that this position had to do, and I appreciate that. But a 7.5 increase, so much more above all the other bargaining units, and we're going to go into the police officers' contract next year. And so I need an explanation as to why this warrants this huge increase. I mean, if we went with even 2% the first year and 2% the second year, maybe I wouldn't have as much question. But 7.5 increase is a large pay raise. That's the end of my comment. If someone could answer it, please.
So if I may,
Go ahead.
the increase is kind of, I'm going to say twofold at this point. It's making up for the fact that there wasn't an increase in 2019. I appreciate that there was an increase when the employee was pulled out of the union and brought under an employment agreement of sorts. But in 2019 and then also this year, there was no increase. And not taking into account the fact that this increase isn't exactly an across the board type of a scenario. This is more of a wage adjustment, especially when you look at comparable positions across Wayne County, across the state. This was a severely underpaid position, as most of ours are, and we're trying to address that slowly but surely.
James, this is Brandon. If I could just add an additional comment, I'm going to ask maybe Lisa to jump in to offer some additional clarification if she is available. I see that she's on the call. The raise increases for the non-public safety units, the last contract settlement, were greater than the 1% annualized because there was a significant base wage adjustment on the front year of the contract for both the TPOAM clerical and the GELC unit. I do think that those first year wage adjustments for those bargaining unit members were closer to the 4.5–5% range. Is that accurate, Lisa?
Yes, I don't recall the exact percentage, but there were, depending on where they were in the scale, some of them got very large increases.
Because what we did with that round of negotiations is we eliminated what had been placed in the pay scale as a discretionary pay grade, which at the time only one employee attained based on a managerial decision. We eliminated that and made it a maturity based on years of service pay scale, and everybody stepped into that pay scale, and that's what those greater wage increases were for. So those units, I recall that the aggregated number was in the range of 7 to 8%, which is consistent with what the council modeled the recent fire settlement off of. Is that correct with your memory, Lisa?
Yes.
That was Brendan Fernay, our labor attorney, and Lisa Griggs, who is our director of finance. Further discussion?
Through the chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Your Honor, the only other question that I had when I read through this is, do we expect the agreement to expire in 2 years and as of February, or 2 years as of September?
If I may, it would be consistent with what we typically do to have it go into effect as of February when it was first brought to council.
Excuse me, you're doing retro pay?
It would be consistent with what we typically would do.
Okay. Further discussion?
Question.
Chair,
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sir. Councilman Parkinson?
I would like to put this back in an appointed position. There's more accountability, and she should have to go up at the meetings to answer questions. So I believe that should be an appointed position. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Kelsey, you were next, sir.
Yeah, I was looking back at the February Zach concerning his position, because he was here when I was kind of worked on it, I guess.
Yes.
And anyways, he recommended at that time that if we did it in February, that he suggested it be retro to January. And I don't know why, but that's what the cover letter says on the one that we did in February. And of course, we tabled this, so that's, another issue. But the other question or comment I got is that I was looking at some of the pay rates, which we're talking about comparison. And a lot of these cities pay a lot more money for less people, which kind of surprises me because there's no rhyme or reason for it. If you got 17,000 people, for example, you're paying $100,000 for an HR. I don't understand how they do that, but and some places have like, I think it's Dearborn Heights has got 57,000 people, actually 57,774, and it pays $69,525. So these salaries are kind of like all over the place, depending, I guess, the ability of the city to pay. So I just want to make a comment on that. It's kind of like we're all over the place.
Okay. Further discussion from council? Hearing none, then clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross,
Excuse me.
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
No, not till it's an appointed position.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, then we're moving on to our next item, which has a cover letter from Doreen Christian, our Community Planning and Development Parks and Recreation Director. The purpose is to enter into an agreement with Wayne County to receive funding for the band shell restoration. Budget impact will result in Wayne County providing $50,000 towards the completion of the band shell roof and interior repairs. In background, the Parks and Recreation Department has applied for and received a grant from the county to aid in the restoration of the exterior band shell roof and interior shell. Very cool. So, whereas the County of Wayne, Michigan, and the City of Lincoln Park, Michigan, have an interest in cooperative parks and recreation projects that are mutually beneficial to the residents of Wayne County. Whereas the county will cooperatively fund the improvements at the Lincoln Park band shell in the amount of $50,000. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Lincoln Park enter into a funding agreement with the County of Wayne, and the mayor and the city clerk are authorized to sign all documents necessary to execute said agreement.
So move.
Support.
Okay, discussion?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
It says we're going to go into an agreement, so they're going to help us, with the band shell, which is all great. But it didn't say if that's the only agreement. I just want to make sure they're not getting their hands in any way on the band shell. Is that true?
I wouldn't think so, but
I'm on my,
Doreen, are you
There.
on the, there you are. You want to comment on that?
yep. Yeah, it's just the normal Parks and Rec agreement that we get. We usually get money every year. And the only other agreement is we have to put a sign up that says that they help fund the restoration.
They can have their sign.
Well, it's, I mean, they did work on the band shell, I think, a couple years ago. Giles Tucker did a GoFundMe situation, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So that's, I think that's a very good thing. I have to thank Elizabeth Varga for her efforts in accomplishing this. But further discussion? All right, then clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes, and it's about time, hopefully, that will stop some of the flooding in the building.
Salcido,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. The next item also has a cover letter from Doreen Christian, Community Planning, Development, and Parks and Recreation, and participation in the CDBG CARES Act Small Business Grant Program. The cover letter is similar to the resolution, so I will just jump forward with the resolution. Resolved that the following businesses be approved for participation in the CDBG CARES Act Small Business Grant Program. Funds to come from CARES Act 2019 program year of the CDBG budget, account 249-001, excuse me, 976001. Belmar Lanes, 4035 Fort Street, $20,000. Max Management LLC, McCafferty's, 4210 Fort Street, $15,000. Vito's Pizzeria, 3962 Fort Street, $15,000. South River Collision, 517 Southfield, $15,000. Stephen C. excuse me. Stephen C. Legal DDS, 3309 Dix Highway, $10,000. Steeles Village LLC, 1526 Fort Street, $20,000. Be it further resolved that Doreen P. Christian, Director of Community Planning and Development, is hereby authorized and directed to process these applications.
So move.
Did we get support? I'm sorry.
Support.
Okay. Open it up for discussion. Doreen, do you want to explain the process on this as a start?
We had earlier provided a review committee
Oh,
of
okay.
5 members.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we had a review committee of 5 members who all received the application. Within the guidelines of this grant, we had a scoring criteria that each had to meet. The review committee individually on their own went through each application and scored it and put in how much money they felt that they needed to have. Then everything was turned back, and we went with the, not the general consensus, but we added up the total amount of the grant, divided it by the 5 members, and it went within the $5,000 jumps.
Okay, this is still an open grant, right? You're still accepting applications?
Yes, we are still up accepting applications, and it's still up on the website, and they can still put in for it because we still have money left.
Very good. Open it for discussion.
Through the chair, Your Honor.
Yes, go ahead.
Councilman Salcedo here. Just out of curiosity, only 3 businesses is going to get this grant. Is that true?
No.
There were 6 that were listed. 6 that
So
were
these
listed
6
so far.
are going to get it then,
Yes,
the grant?
yes, but there are additional monies available for future
All
grant
right.
submitters.
Thank you. I thought the cover letter said only 3, so, all right, thank you very much.
The original cover letter did, sir. It was.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
I had to amend that resolution 3 times so I could get them all in under this. So I'm sorry, I didn't amend the cover letter.
All right, thank you.
You're good. Okay, not hearing anything further. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcedo,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes, and thanks to Doreen for her work on this and the members of the committee too. It's not always easy. Easy choices.
It's more confusing than anything else.
I hear you. So, the next item has a cover letter from John Kazua, Director of Department of Public Services. The City of Lincoln Park Department of Public Services recently went out to bid and is in receipt of the bids for the rear yard lawn restorations. Yards contained in the bid package need restorations due to rear yard sanitary sewer repairs that were completed at each location. There were 3 bids received for this project. However, the 2 low bidders added qualifications to their bid. These low bidders chose to withdraw their bid in lieu of removing the qualifications from the bid package. Therefore, the low bidder was Dan K. Incorporated from Brownstown, Michigan, with a price of $34 per square yard and total of 900 square yards being 30,600. So, resolved that the mayor and city council hereby award the bid for the rear yard lawn restorations to Dan K's Incorporated of Brownstown, Michigan, with a bid amount of $30,600 plus a 10% contingency for a total cost not to exceed $33,660 to come from account number 592-527-818000 Sewer Department Contractual Services.
So moved. For the question?
Support.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Were they the only company that bid, and where did we bid this that only one company seen it?
Okay, there were 3 companies that bid. Do we have John on the call? John Kazoo? Need to unmute yourself, sir. Okay, John is not responding. James, would you be able to answer the question?
So the bids are posted as we do with all of our bids on the Mittens site, the bid.net. From what I understand, we had 3 bidders, 2 of which ended up withdrawing.
Yeah, okay. I was curious because I only seen the one price, and that's, usually we get all the pricing.
If I may through the chair, in the cover letter, they're saying the low bidders added qualifications to their bids. So the 2 other companies added more qualifications, and so they really were rejected because they amended what we had actually bid for.
That's how I saw it also. You're correct.
Through the chair, if I could, for the
Yes.
city manager,
Yes,
could you find out when this is supposed to start? I know John's not on the thing, but could you find out when this restoration's whether it's this year or next year? I didn't see that in the letter, so.
It would be this fall.
Okay. All right.
That was our intent, was to get these done this fall.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Further discussion? Okay. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Higgins,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
Rainey,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes,
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right. Our next action item has been moved by Councilman Higgins and supported by Councilman Parkinson. Whereas the City of Lincoln Park wishes to offer citizens a citywide yard sale weekend, be resolved that the mayor and council hereby establishes September 26 and September 27, 2020 as the dates for a citywide yard sale weekend in the City of Lincoln Park. Be further resolved that the residents may host a yard sale at their home on these 2 days without obtaining a permit or paying a fee. However, all participants must observe the following established regulations. 1, no posting of signs on public property, which is Chapter 830.06. 2, participants must comply with Executive Order Number 2020-147. 3, subject to cancellation if required by order of the governor. Chapter 830.06 states, A, signs advertising a sale regulated by this chapter may be erected or placed on the premises of the sale beginning on the first day of the sale and shall be removed immediately at the end of the third day. B, no sign may be placed on the city easement between the sidewalk and the curb. C, signs advertising a sale regulated by this chapter may be placed on the applicant's vehicle, which is legally parked on the city street between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., after which time the sign must be removed from the vehicle. At no time will these signs interfere with any vehicle visibility. D, no sign shall be in excess of 6 square feet, and no sign shall be illuminated in any manner whatsoever except incidentally by streetlights or house lights. E, the posting of garage sale, yard sale, or basement sale signs is not considered to be display advertising as otherwise defined in these codified ordinances or in the traffic control orders of the city. Executive Order Number 2020-147 states, 1, any individual who leaves their home or place of residence must wear a face covering over their nose and mouth. A, when in any outdoor public space, or B, when outdoors and unable to consistently maintain a distance of 6 feet or more from individuals who are not members of their household.
Move. I'm sorry. They already did, right?
Yes, we have a mover and supporter on
We
this.
already did. We're opening up for discussion.
I have,
If I may, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Ross, go ahead.
okay, thank you. I just wanted to know the hours for, I mean, I know it talked about parking on the signs on the streets, but what about the actual hours for a garage sale? Do we have hours for that?
I think we do, we don't, Carrie? What,
No, I don't believe the ordinance
okay.
addresses times.
So
But they
hopefully,
would have to comply with, the noise ordinance and can't be out there creating a ruckus, at 6 a.m. or anything,
okay,
so.
Okay.
all right.
And if I may, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Under paragraph A, it says they have to remove their signs at the end of the third day. In the resolution, it only calls for a 2-day sale. Which is it?
Well, that's just the chapter 830.06. But
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just, the ordinance was included by reference as a way of explanation, but it's a 2-day sale.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have the question, how do the residents know where these sales are taking place? Is there any, like a list for everyone, or?
Your Honor,
Yeah,
I can do a little bit of answer on how this came up and how this happened. Years ago, there used to be a group that did a citywide garage sale, and they sold maps, and it was a fundraiser. And many cities around here do a forgiveness garage sale day. The Lincoln Park hasn't in the past. Since the garage sales ended, citywide garage sales, and I have been a lot of people have come forward and asking me why we don't do this. And particularly this year, where there's so many people have been cleaning out their houses because of COVID, and they have stuff they want to get rid of. And we also have people who have been out of work because of COVID who could really use a place to buy cheap stuff. So that's how this came together. And there will be no way of knowing where this is all at, but if we put it on our city monitors, so people know that this is the day, it'll be all over town, people can drive around and find them.
Yeah, I'm sure that they could, if someone cared to, they could post it on the city's Facebook page or their own Facebook page. Okay. Further discussion? All right. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes?
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Next item has a cover letter from our Chief of Police, Raymond Waters. Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting permission from Mayor and Council to waive the bid process and allow the Police Department to purchase a new 2021 Ford Explorer to be used for police road patrol. Police Department will purchase the vehicle from Signature Ford, a My Deal dealer, who has provided a state bid quote for the vehicle. The cost of the Ford Explorer is $34,554, which will come from the Police Department's forfeiture capital account number 265-320-983.000.VH04. This purchase will replace Unit 49, which has recently suffered significant damage from a blown engine. The cost to repair this vehicle is over $9,000. 2014 Dodge Charger currently has over 95,000 miles on it and should be retired for use. So the resolution whereas the Lincoln Park Police Department is requesting to purchase a 2020 Ford Explorer, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize the police department to waive the bidding process and purchase a 2020 Ford Explorer for a total cost of $34,554 from Signature Ford, a qualifying state bid pricing dealership. Be it further resolved, funds for the purchase of the 2020 Ford Explorer to come from the police department's forfeiture capital account 265-320-983.000.VH04.
So moved.
Support.
Chief, your cover letter has that it's a 2021 Ford Explorer, and the resolution is 2020, which is, what are we buying?
We're buying a 2021.
Okay. So is it good with the mover and supporter to amend it to a
Correct
20,
it.
to correct it to a
Yes.
2021?
Yes.
Okay. So further discussion?
To the chair, if I may, are we gonna scrap that car then? Obviously, I mean, just junk it, or are we gonna try to sell it for parts, or we don't know yet? On that,
Well, actually,
yeah, I'm sorry.
with the car, we put a claim in with our insurance company, and it sounds like they're going to give us a total reimbursement for the new Ford Explorer and to outfit it also. So we'll strip it and take as much off it and use it for the new Explorer as we can, but they're going to take the car.
All right, thank
We
you.
may have to luck out on this one.
Yeah, sounds good, thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Okay. Further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Breeding,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes,
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay. Next action item has a cover letter from Lisa Griggs, our Director of Finance and Operations. And the subject is resolution to approve the corrective action plan for the police and fire and municipal employees' health care plan pursuant to Public Act 202 of 2017. In background, on December 20, 2017, the Michigan Legislature passed Public Act 202 of 2017, the Protecting Local Governments Retirement and Benefits Act. This act is intended to address underfunding issues associated with pension plans and retiree medical plans in Michigan. OPEB, which is Other Post-Employee Benefits plans, are considered underfunded when both of the following conditions are present. 1, the funding ratio is less than 40%. 2, the actuarial determined contribution is more than 10% of the total government fund revenue for the city. Unfortunately, the city's pension and OPEB plan meet the criteria of underfunded. The state of Michigan is requiring the city to file a corrective action plan for the OPEB fund. The city is operating on a pay-as-you-go basis for the retiree health care, which puts the funding level at 0%. However, the city has taken great strides to keep the cost of retiree health care under control. As you are aware, the city negotiated a settlement with retirees for retiree health care, which caps the total cost payable by the city at 6% of the general fund revenues annually. The only option for the city to increase funding levels of OPEB to meet the criteria of proper funding would be to reduce services or ask the residents for additional taxes. So in resolution, whereas on December 20, 2017, Public Act 202 of 2017, the Protecting Local Government Retirement and Benefits Act went into effect. And whereas the city submitted the required reports for the City of Lincoln Park Retiree Health Care Plan pursuant to Public Act 202 of 2017, and whereas the State of Michigan Department of Treasury has determined that the City of Lincoln Park Retiree Health Care Plan obligation has an underfunded status, and whereas the city has completed the corrective action plan as outlined by Public Act 202 of 2017, now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council of Lincoln Park approves the corrective action plan for the City of Lincoln Park Retiree Health Care Plan as presented.
I'll move. Support.
Discussion?
I have a few questions, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to verify that by taking this action and filing this corrective action plan, that it will not make any changes currently to the retirees' health care for P&S and the municipal employees, retired municipal employees. By us filing this plan, are we safe for now? I understand that in the paperwork that I read a million times trying to understand this, the Municipal Stability Board can either approve this, and if they approve it, then they will review it every 2 years. But if they don't approve our plan, then we'll be notified within 45 days. Am I correct in what I'm reading?
Can I speak, Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Lisa? Yes, you are correct in the fact that they could deny the plan. If they deny it, basically we're going to have to reevaluate it and come up with a more thorough explanation of things we're going to do to address the funding, which would mean we probably would have to start putting away some additional funding, which we have talked about the last few years, trying to find a way to put some funding away for future years. But this plan by no means changes and cannot legally change what we are providing to retirees. We've reached a settlement with them, those benefits that they receive. This plan is just explaining what we have done to address these types of issues.
Very, very good. Thank you. That answers my questions.
You're welcome.
Very good. Yes,
Karen,
ma'am.
if I may?
Go ahead.
Lisa, if you could answer, this isn't the first time we've filled these out, is it?
No, this is the second time.
Okay. Okay.
I believe it was just over a year ago. The timing of the reports were due at a different time this past year, so it was I think it was earlier in the year that we did that corrective action plan.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, anything further? Discussion? All right. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Leading,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right, we will move on then to accounts and claims payable. The first three items that will be read, Signature Ford, MERS, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, have been checks released for due date. So resolved that the accounts and claim payable for those items greater than $25,000 be approved as follows. Signature Ford, 3 2020 Explorers for PD, $103,662. MERS, fiscal year 19/20, additional cash into ME pension, $946,381.24. Blue Cross Blue Shield, August 2020 retiree med advance plan, retirees and actives, $205,241.69. A-Land Construction Incorporated, 2020 Sidewalk Repair Program, $34,468.46. 25th District Court, September 2020 payment, $49,255.17. Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority, principal and interest downriver sewage revenue, $191,995.75. Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, 2020 concrete utility repairs, $202,066.29. Hennessy Engineers Incorporated, 2019 bridge inspections, bridge funding applications, retention basin letter response, Verizon, River's Edge Apartments, DTE gas main replacements and meter changeouts, water main replacements under I-75, Gould and Monty reconstruction, 2019 road reconstruction, concrete sectioning, road bond reconstruction, SRF program, 2020 asphalt resurfacing, concrete reconstruction, concrete sectioning, and utility pavement replacement, $141,438.72. The Huntington National Bank, semi-annual interest due 2010 LTGO, $42,084.39. MERS, August 2020 defined benefit, $219,313.96. Michigan Cat Corp., M72 clam truck repairs, $25,107.31. Michigan Municipal League pool renewal premium, 2020-2021, $746,110. City of Riverview, July 2020 dumping service, $38,174.19.
So moved.
Support.
There any discussion? All right, clerk call the roll.
Councilpersons Brady,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes, it's now reached the time for the city manager's report. Mr. Grzan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I guess I'll start tonight, as I often have, talking about the current situation with the COVID pandemic. The pandemic's still going on, obviously, but things are slowly opening up even more. The most recent executive order allowed for a lot more recreation to be able to take place. Indoor recreation is now going to be able to happen with restrictions, but it is going to be able to happen. So with that, we're going to start seeing some more recreation program open up, which is exactly what we anticipated happening around now. That things would slowly open up. The ice arena, the community center, will be opening up as well soon. Kids are going to start playing hockey again. So we're going to start seeing some more activity. Also, as we're all aware, schools are starting to go back into session, and what that means is different for every school district. We've spent a lot of time in the last month working with employees and trying to come up with the different scenarios and different issues we're going to run into, and I think at this point we've come up with a plan that is very flexible, which is to basically allow for some flexibility. For those positions that can, we're being as flexible as possible so that everybody can try and meet both professional and personal obligations, because this is, I hate to use the term unprecedented because it has been going on now for 6 months, but it is still so unprecedented, and we are still learning new things all the time about what's going on. Also recently, the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of different rainstorms. The most recent heavy one, we ended up having about 3.5 inches of rain. Neighboring communities report about 4 inches of rain, so for some reason we got a little less, but that happens sometimes with these systems. During the last rainstorm, I believe we had reports of 26 basements that backed up. So we're working through those. Also, with the severe weather, we do continue to get complaints about trees and limbs being down. So if residents notice limbs down, please call DPS if it's after hours. Call the police non-emergency line. Also, please be patient. We are working through. We are also working on updating and making sure we have the best tree list for trees that need to be removed, trees that need to be trimmed, and trees that need to be evaluated. In a very short time, we do intend to publish what we have for the tree list, and we're going to try and set up a mailbox for people to call, like a voicemail box, and they can put if they don't see their tree on the list, they can call to get on the evaluation list so that we can make sure we know of all the trees in town that need to be trimmed or removed. These are for trees on city property, so basically the areas between the road and the sidewalk. This afternoon, Mr. Kazoo and I met with the construction team working on the reconstruction of Ford Boulevard. While our reconstruction contractor had been delayed, we are starting to move forward here, and we anticipate in the next couple of weeks really getting to the demolition of the surface of Ford Boulevard and the reconstruction of the roadway. There's a lot of water main work going on right now, a lot of service lines. Turns out that specific service had a lot more lead lines than we anticipated, so we're working through that as well. Also tonight, the council and mayor approved the bid for yard restorations in the rear yards. From some of the road work last year, we did have some restorations that still need to be completed. We spoke with the contractor today, and they are planning on beginning the restorations and redoing the restorations that didn't go well, specifically talking about like Capitol and Pagel Street. They're planning to start those this month and get them done by the end of the month with seed. Also, our office here is working with Don from Lincoln Park TV to set up a Meet the Candidates video for everybody who's running for city offices. So in the next day or two, you should be getting an email with a list of times to try and schedule your turn to come in and shoot your 3 to 5 minute video. Last week, we made repairs at the court building to the AC unit, which should hopefully help make that run better. And then a couple quick notes on parks and lot mowing from our contractor. They are still having trouble getting staff, either due to the fears from COVID or whatever's going on. So they are running lean, and what they are doing to try and make up is they're mowing parks every other week, and then on the off weeks they're mowing the lots. So just in case it starts to look a little heavier with the growth, that's most likely why and what's going on. So I wanted you guys to know because I just found out today as well. So with that, I don't have anything else, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Question?
If I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have one quick question. In the event that the schools somehow or another decide to have the students start coming back to school, rather than just on mine. Do we know if we have any crossing guards anymore, or where would that stand? Because, I mean, obviously they're not working now, but I'm just curious, are there crossing guards in the background in case we go back to school?
Yeah, the last conversation I had about crossing guards, I do believe we still have one. I'll call it on the roster.
Okay.
And hopefully she'll be coming back.
Okay, thank you.
For the chair, if I could, for the city manager. Two things. Could you give me a list of the basement addresses that flooded? And also the 4th Street median. We talked about the trees that have been laying out there for 4 or 5 weeks now. Did you get any action from MDOT or Wayne County to pick those up when they cut them down? It's laying in the median.
I have not yet. I was hoping to be able to. I was hoping we would have a personal contact with the Goddard Street Road Commission service center there, but we've got to go through the system just like everybody else. So hopefully we'll have some movement on that very shortly.
All right, thank you.
Maybe you could reach out to our commissioner in reference to that. She might have some input.
Through the chair, go ahead.
Yes, sir, go ahead. Whoever, Councilman
Mr.
Parker.
Parker, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, John, I talked to you before about the trees down in the creek. Have you got a hold of the county to see if they can rectify that situation?
Actually, today, when during the day, I had a meeting with some of the economic development team at the county, and I know this sounds kind of a roundabout way, but I had asked them if they could set me up with a contact for the drain office. So I'm hoping, I followed up tonight with them. I'm hoping to hear something shortly. I drove down at a couple different spots, and yeah, there's a lot of blockages going on in the creek.
Maybe we should talk to Ilona Varga and see if she can get any action faster than anybody else.
I can certainly reach out to her again. I wasn't very successful the last time.
Well, anything will help. Thank you.
Councilman Salcedo, go ahead.
Thank you very much, this is Salcedo. Just 2 quick questions, Mr. City Manager. In regards to Sears Plaza and then Emmons Street Plaza, any movement over there? Anything happening?
There hasn't been much movement lately. I wish I had better news for you on that at the moment, truthfully.
All right, thank you.
But as a result of the Economic Development Corporation meeting, the goal from our Carl Milish, who is just starting out, is he's going to be making contact with the owners and developers of the property at Sears, including Grand Saqua, and then with the Lincoln Park Center also to get some ideas. So he'll be able to give you an update on that.
Thank you.
Anything else for the city manager from the council? Okay, then we will move on to citizen communications. And if the city manager would mute folks. If you're going to address council, you need to state your name and then
I have unmuted everybody, so if you are still muted, you need to unmute yourself.
This is Tracy Dupre. Are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I would like to share with the mayor, council, and citizens some wonderful news regarding the food pantry that used to be held at the American Indian Services, which is now no longer with our city. The manager of Indian Services Pantry reached out to me for help in the spring, and I was able to make arrangements for this program to begin once again the second Wednesday of October in partnership with the Chandler Center, which is right off of Southfield and Chandler, 1 block in at Park Street. We are going to be providing food for the City of Lincoln Park residents only at first. Perhaps we will grow, but this time we need to keep it containable until we can get all the bugs worked out.
None of this is at any cost to the city. I had looked into using the senior building with the city manager per Councilman Higgins' suggestion, but things just weren't moving fast enough, so I had to look for other alternatives and for this valuable food source so we wouldn't lose it. Chandler Center has been looking for a food source for a pantry, and as I always say, everything happens for a reason. It's a perfect partnership. There is one thing we are asking the city to help us with, would be the transportation of the food that we distribute that day. It would require a vehicle such as a truck or van and 2 people, approximately 4 hours once a month, which would be the morning of that second Wednesday of each month. We, Chandler Center, our food source, and I will be providing everything else for the city as far as this food distribution goes. The facilitation, paperwork, the building, there's no cost to the city or the residents. On another note regarding the pantry, I did request to find out what had happened to the $33,000 that was going to go to the American Indian Services, part of the block grant, and which they didn't take because they closed. And I don't know if that's been redistributed or anything like that, but if any of the block grant is left from the American Indian Services, Chandler Center would be a great place to look. We need a deep freezer and a commercial refrigerator. Chandler Center is a 501c3 registered nonprofit, so any donations from the city or citizens is a tax write-off, and we're always looking for volunteers throughout the city. We currently need volunteers every second Wednesday of the month. Even if it's a half a day, we have things for you to do. We'll be opening our food pantry doors October 14th, 2020. On another topic, and I have two topics. The intersection at Southfield and Ferris, where 7-Eleven and Calder's are, I know it's been talked about a lot, and more so than I even know, I'm sure, over the years. I live in this neighborhood. Last night there was another horrible crash. I think we need to look at, or if somebody could point me to, if it's a Wayne County issue, we need some sort of turn signal change with a turning light, and it's just a horrible situation. And then when callers is loading their trucks, it's a horrible situation. So I want to bring that to the council's attention. And then I do have a question on the water bill. And yes, our water bill is not just water. I understand that. And in fact, I explained that to some citizens. We have to pay things either in taxes, water bills, whatnot. And I noticed the sewage went up from $3.89 to $4.32 per 100 cubic feet from last year. And I'm wondering why the sewage is so high if much of the water that is used, say in my house, I had a $300 water bill. I don't water my lawn because I can't afford to, but I do water my plants and garden, but yet I'm paying sewage on that, I do believe, which is not using sewage. So my question is, if there's a price increase in the sewage, and we're paying sewage on all water usage, not just water that uses the sewage, I feel like that we're kind of double dipping there. And I understand the city is in the financial position, but so are the homeowners. And the question is, I guess, what are the thoughts on that? Has it been discussed before? Some cities don't charge for water that doesn't use sewage. I do know that.
Tracy, you've reached your time limit.
Okay, that was all I had. Thank you.
If you would email the city manager your questions for that, you would get an answer directed for you.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, so anyone else?
Leslie Lynch Wilson, if I may go next.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to remind everybody that the farmers market for this month is this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the corner of 4th Street and Southfield. and just remind people that you need to wear your masks. And we do have hand washing stations there and hand sanitizer. And we are again accepting all the food assistance programs this year, EBT, the PEBT card, Double Up Food Bucks with Project Fresh, Senior Project Fresh, as well as credit and debit. So we hope to see you this Sunday.
Okay, you all set?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor. Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. What's your name, sir?
I'm sorry, I'm Brian Vizzacaro. I'm the owner of City Towing. And bear with me because I've never done this before. I'm really, really nervous.
It's all right.
My dad, Tony, started City Towing back in 1992, 28 years ago. I just got a couple paragraphs and that's it. I'm here to address the situation of the Lincoln Park Police Towing contract. I found out on September 2nd in the afternoon, after the bids were already closed, that we were not included in the bidding of the contract. We have held the contract for 28 years, with the process always being the same. We would receive an envelope with the bidding information for us to fill out and return it down to City Hall. We hold the current contract with the Lincoln Park Police Department. We have for 28 years. We were not formally or officially notified by mail or email of the contract going out for bid, along with the new process under netdirect.com. I don't understand why we were not notified. In 1992, we were required to purchase a building and property in the city of Lincoln Park to be able to store the vehicles and run the impound yard for us to get the contract. We did this by purchasing this property here, 1785 Southfield. Before we did this in 92, Lincoln Park Police Department were storing the vehicles at the 500 Southfield lot. There was so much stealing and vandalism, costing the city a lot of money, and there was also loud noise from the tow trucks, the steel chains, from dropping off the vehicles, that the neighbors were constantly complaining. Therefore, the requirement for us was to purchase property and house the vehicles was necessary, and we did comply. After the 28 years of service, none of the neighbors in the city of Lincoln Park have ever complained about any noise at all whatsoever. Couple more things. We went above and beyond, and we also purchased police radios at our own expense several times over the 28 years in order to allow quick service and better service to Lincoln Park Police Department. I put my heart and soul into this company for 28 years of service and have always complied with any requirements the police department has needed. After working with the city for so long, I feel we have become a big part of this community, and losing the contract will not only put me out of business, but my employees and their families. John Tucker has been with me for 14 years. John Scott, 5 years, and he's got 5 kids. I put my life into this business. I'm 63 years old. And I'm sorry, excuse me, because it's embarrassing. I hate doing this, but I can't help it. Would you please reconsider your decision so I have a fair chance at putting in a bid or extending my contract or whatever you folks have to do? Thank you, I'm done.
Okay, sir, thank you, and thank you for everything that City Towing has been a good partner for the city. Is there anyone else that would like to citizen comments? Hearing none, then I will move on to oral reports of the council and mayor. Council President Breeding.
I want to wish a belated birthday to ex-Councilman Murphy, and I believe Ed Zelnick's birthday is right here around the same period of time. I want to welcome the new DDA director, EDC director, but because I was the keeper of the records for so many years, I believe that mayor and council need to have a resolution put forward naming him and concur with it. It is taxpayers' money that is captured for the DDA. So we approved the budget, of course, but I think we need to have it on record that we are concurring with his employment so that down the road, someone will be able to find the documentation to find out who was in charge of the DDA and the EDC at this time. I'm not suggesting that we're not in favor of it, but I do believe it needs to be in a resolution in the minute book so that we can keep track of the movements of the DDA and the DDC, especially since the DDA is taxpayers' money that is captured. That's what I would like to see, sir. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And Councilman Salcido.
Yes, it was quite a busy weekend. I'll make it brief. I had my bike tuned up from A1 Mobile Bike Service right here in Lincoln Park. He works out of his van. His name is John Gendron, 313-381-0428. If you need your bike or exercise equipment fixed, he'll come to your house. A1 Bike Service. Also, I made a stop at ASAP Signs here on 3321 4th Street. Terry's got masks. He's got T-shirts. He's open Monday through 9 to 5. Another city business you may want to check out. I talked to Tino from Raise the Bar Gym earlier today, and he will be opening tomorrow, so get your tennis shoes. I'm sure he's going to have all the safeguards in place. He didn't give me all the details, but he does plan on opening. And I have to mention City Towing. The only question I had was, how did the other companies know that there was a bid, and how did City Towing not know there was a bid? So maybe that can be addressed down the road. My last thing, I had a medical emergency at the house here on Monday. Called 911. Everybody's fine, but I want to thank Chief Martin and the fire department. They were here like in 6 minutes, maybe less, but their quick response. Everything worked out okay. Everybody's okay, but I just want to thank the fire department. Chief Barton, be proud of you boys. They were very professional, and they helped me out. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. The only thing I have is, I don't even know how to word this correctly. I think communication is key, especially now when we're Zooming. It's hard to get all the information out there to the right people. And whether it's through the website, whether we take an extra step to make a phone call or write a letter, we need to communicate. We just need to communicate with our residents better. We need to communicate with our businesses. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Higgins.
I would like to agree with what Lillian just said, that we need to communicate better with our citizens and anybody that the city's working with. We should have open flow communication going back and forth. That's the way it should be. And saying that, I want to say that I think that the new tree list with the city manager mentioned today, I think that is a great idea, and I am glad to see that happening. And I'd like to see it to go a step farther and perhaps have something online where you can go through and follow your tree where is it? Have we looked at it now? Are we going to do something to it? Or are we not going to download, so that they can follow through exactly what's going on? I would like to thank the police department for both the backpack giveaway and the Rotary and the police for the ice cream giveaway. On behalf of my grandsons who absolutely love the ice cream, thank you very much. Our police department are always doing over and all great things, over and beyond just being there on the job. We have some really great officers that do more than just do their job. They are very community minded. And in a community like ours, it's greatly appreciated. I too also want to wish happy birthday to Tom Murphy. And I think there's something, a little story I'm going to tell, because I also wanted to say how much Joe Clemente meant to our community, not just as a restaurateur, but all the things that they gave to the community over the time they were there. And but the story which nobody here will remember but me, I guess I'm the old guy, that after a council meeting, it was tradition. It didn't matter which side you were on, what you fought about that night, everybody met at Clemente's afterwards. And everybody sat down and broke bread and everything was okay again. And Joe was always there with a laugh and with a story, and he was such a great guy, and he brought the community together. And I think that's something that we're missing a lot of, in just basically in society today. That people can go to a place and sit down and just get along and talk. And that was something that Joe Clemente gave our community for a long, long time. And personally, I will miss him. He was a great guy. I was going to remind everybody, but Leslie already did it. The farmers market this Sunday. Come out, have a good time. And I'd also like to, and I've already been to the office and met Carl for the new DDA director. And a big thank you and welcome to the city. I hope for great things from him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Kelsey.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was out of town and getting the ice cream. Do you think I can go to the police department and get an ice cream bar or something? They still honor it? I'm just kidding.
You're a little soft by now.
We've been talking a lot about on the council and also in the issue of the newspapers and media about petitions or proposals, if you want to call it. There's a great article I come across in the Free Press on August the 26th of 2020. It talks about how petitions are circulating. And one of the great articles, and I'm not going to bore anybody because you can go online and read it, but I think you ought to really read it because it's really interesting. But one of the quotes the newspaper made is, in Michigan, there is no state law making it illegal for petition circulators to lie about the purpose of a ballot initiative. I think that's pretty interesting in this day and age where people can arbitrarily do that and then have people sign up and then all of a sudden they got a proposal that they had no idea they signed up for, but their name's on there. So I just think I think it's relevant based on some comments we've been discussing in the council, and also about what's going on with petitions in general. I also didn't know, but some of these companies pay people so much money per person if they get somebody to sign a petition. So I just thought I'd make that for the residents. If you want to read that, it's a good article. It's kind of like buyer beware, so you're not scammed, so you know what you're doing. And I also like to have a nice birthday wish for Councilman Murphy. I didn't know it was his birthday, but very happy to him. And other than that, I'm all set. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Parkinson.
I'd also like to wish Councilman Murphy a happy birthday, or former Councilman Merson. And I would like to agree with Lillian. We need to get more communication and transparency. It'll work out better in this city. In Carlos, I also used the police and fire, the fire department for the rescue, and they came and got me when I had my stroke. And they are good and efficient, and they worked real well. So I'd like to thank the fire department for that also. That's about all I have to say for tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. I think the tree cutting program, I think all the members of the council can agree that they've got questions of where the residents' trees were at any given point. And some got misplaced, some got lost, but now it's all going to be straightened out and done on a timely basis. So that is a good thing, and wish everybody a happy return to school. I know I get to go back to work tomorrow, so. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Report.
All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Salcido,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Good night, everyone.